Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. This is Tanush, and I'm making this video a little late, but this is to discuss about Saturn going direct and its impact on all the 12 ascendants. So, Saturn went retrograde on 17th of June 2023, and today morning, that is 4th of November, it has gone direct. And these days from 17th June till 4th of November, they were quite intense. So at least I can speak for myself. They were, extremely intense. This is a general trend. So people might have gone through a lot of situations, and like we discussed earlier, Saturn does the course correction. So anything we had missed earlier, this is the time when Saturn actually fixes it. It gives us an opportunity to fix it. And if we fix that, then there are many good things which are in store for us in the future. And Saturn also had actually planned for many people, for few ascendants especially. Something wonderful was planned, and this was kind of the background work which was necessary. So one way we can say probably we were lacking that, or this was mandatory for us so that we will be ready for the future, right? But it was intense. So without wasting time, let us get started. So to speak about the planetary alignment, so in the past 1 week many good things have happened. One is the Jupiter Rahu conjunction, which was happening in the sign of Aries, is now broken because Rahu has moved to the sign of Pisces, and this is a welcome move, I would say, because now Jupiter is left alone. It only has to deal with the third aspect of Saturn, and third aspect of Saturn from the sign of Aquarius is little different. It's not very severe wherein Saturn creates boundaries. Yes, Saturn does that, but the aim of Saturn is completely different in this case. So one thing is Jupiter is left alone, and Jupiter gains a lot of strength because a lot of energy of Jupiter was being spent in controlling Rahu, right? So now Jupiter is left alone there. That's a wonderful move. Saturn retrograde was really troublesome for many people, but we discussed about the philosophy. It was a course correction. This was needed probably, and we'll come to know in the future why these events happen. But we have gone through a lot of situations, right? So Saturn is going direct, which is also a wonderful move because our struggle will now actually come down and will start getting. Now, one thing I would like to say is when any planet, and especially planet like Saturn, a slow moving planet like Saturn, it goes direct 10 days prior to going direct, and 1 week or 10 days after that, during this period, because Saturn is retrograde stationary and then it becomes direct stationary before it starts moving. This period is a period of frustration, and you might be experiencing that things are not moving, your life is stuck, right? So if you are experiencing that and you are getting frustrated that I'm stuck in my life, things are not moving, and life is going to be like this, because retrograde period has shown you a lot of issues, it has given you a lot of issues, right? So just wait for 1 more week and then your life will gain that momentum which you're looking for. Don't come to the conclusion that the retrograde Saturn period is over, but yet your life is still frustrating, because it's going to be frustrating for next 1 week till Saturn gains that momentum, right? So wait till then and you'll see your life is picking up slowly. Opportunities. So let us discuss about what this means for the 12 ascendants. So I'll quickly cover all the 12 ascendants. So let us start with the sign of Aries. So for Aries ascendant, Saturn becomes one of the most important planets because it rules your 10th and 11th house. So two very, very important houses related to your profession, your work, your business, returns from your profession, your growth in your profession or business, right? Your name, your fame, the returns, monetary gains from your profession. So it rules two most important houses. And when Saturn went retrograde, it might have given you very tough situations, especially at workplace, and you might have probably had to work rework on some areas which you had already worked, where you missed some, some things. You might have to you might have had to work on that, fix those things, right? And also a probability that you might have been lacking in some areas. So during the retrograde period, you had got the opportunity to work on those areas, gain knowledge which is necessary for you to progress now, right? And now that you have got that knowledge, you have fixed your things which were lacking or you missed. This is a period of your growth. So with the new skill set which you acquired during that period, now new opportunities will come before you, and you are now ready to take on that those opportunities. And once you take that opportunity, your growth will be wonderful for the entire stay of Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So a wonderful time lies ahead. Don't miss that. It's a very special time, I would say, because Saturn comes to 11th house after 30 years, right? So it surely is a wonderful time. You will see increase in the income, which means change in the job is possible, or you might get promotion at your existing place, right? So the area of focus would be your health, the efforts which you put in, and don't neglect your relationship with your kids and with your spouse due to overload of work, right? So those are the areas which you need to take care, right? Other than that, everything looks very good for you. Now coming to Taurus ascendant. For Taurus ascendant, Saturn is a yoga karaka planet, and Saturn had gone retrograde in your 10th house. So when Saturn came to your 10th house, it created a Pancha Mahapurush yoga, known as Shasha yoga, right? So it's a wonderful yoga wherein people experience excellent growth in the career. And because Saturn is yoga karaka for you, and a lot of your bhagya, your fortune, and your 10th house, this transit of Saturn in Aquarius is a special one for you. And when Saturn went retrograde, so this was a time wherein it made you introspect about your future. So you might have got doubts, whether you are going in the right direction, because 9th house is the house of future, is the house of bhagya, right? And Saturn might have made you introspect, see what you are lacking in. Travel might have been possible during this period, because 9th house is the house of travel, right? Gaining again, some new knowledge, lot of hard work at workplace, some unseen issues might have come up at your workplace, and you might have acquired, probably some new knowledge during this period. So now is the time, when Saturn has gone direct, it's a very special move for you. You are going to get very good opportunities at your workplace, and don't miss this opportunity, because for Taurus ascendant, Saturn is a very special planet, and it has come to your 10th house after 30 years. So you are going to get wonderful opportunities for the rest stay of Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So don't miss that, those opportunities. Those opportunities will take you to the next level. Whatever growth you are aspiring from long time, this is the time wherein Saturn is going to give you those opportunities, and you need to grab that. So hard work is indicated, right? Because it's Saturn, hard work is indicated, right? So work hard, and there would be wonderful growth during this period. Now Rahu and Jupiter were in your 12th house, giving you a lot of expenses, maybe health issues, right? So Rahu coming to your 11th house is another wonderful move. So you will feel much relaxed during this period, and there are chances that you will travel to foreign countries for your work. And if you get those kind of opportunities, please do take, because you will perform very well. You will gain a lot of experience, right? So for Taurus ascendant, wonderful transit, I would say. Now for Gemini ascendants, Saturn is the lord of 8th house and 9th house, and the retrograde period of Saturn for Gemini ascendants was extremely stressful, because it looks back at the 8th house, and 8th house, as we know, is full of surprises, sudden events, transformation, many hidden things for us to explore, right? So during this period, you might have gone through a lot of stressful conditions, especially related to health, maybe related to your in-laws, right? Things which you are lacking, and especially for students, this was a period wherein you had to introspect whether the line of work which you had selected was right or wrong. And now that you have got clarity, once Saturn has gone direct, now you are ready. You have made up your mind. You are very clear, which line you want to go. And Saturn in the ninth house, the Lord of Bhagya in Bhagyasthan, is surely going to ensure that your future is wonderful. So all the hard work which you have put in was to fix things which were hampering your progress. So you'll not understand that now, but once the direct motions of Saturn starts and you start getting opportunities, that is when you realize that that struggle was needed for me to progress in my life, right? So believe me, trust me, whatever hardships you have gone through is worth it, because you are going to see very good times in the future. Jupiter is now alone in your 11th house, right? So lot of 10th house in the 11th house, excellent placement. Till April 2023, Jupiter is going to give you amazing results. Growth in your career is indicated. For those who want to change their job, excellent time. Do look out for wonderful opportunities. If you are not satisfied at your workplace, or you are looking for a change or a better role, this is a wonderful time. Probably in your same organization also you can look out for those kind of roles. Now when Saturn went retrograde in the ninth house, it was aspecting the third house, again indicating a lot of struggle. And like we discussed, you have gone through a lot of situations. So now that will ease up a lot. That will surely ease up a lot. Right? Now it also aspects the sixth house, so which indicates growth in your career. You will now follow a lot of discipline which was missing during your struggling period. Life will become more disciplined. Things will start falling in place from today onwards, right? So Gemini Ascendants, just because you faced tough situations from June until 4th of November, don't think that Saturn is doing something bad for you. It is actually preparing ground for you. Now is the time for you to actually take your plunge, right? So you'll understand that shortly. So let 1 week or 10 days pass, and then things will change for good. Things will surely change for good. Those of you who had planned for studies abroad or travel to foreign land and had some visa issues or some impediments, right? So this is a time where everything will ease off, and you'll surely get your visa, and probably you'll travel to foreign land and take up either job or higher studies, right? So from now onwards, it's going to be a very good time, Gemini Ascendant. So be ready, I would say, and leave behind the stress which you have seen during the struggling period from June until 4th of November. Now for Cancer Ascendants, Saturn has gone direct now in your 8th house. It aspects your 10th house, your 2nd house and 5th house. When Saturn had gone retrograde in your 8th house, it was aspecting the 10th house, and there was a lot of struggle at your workplace. Lot of hard work, and the proportion of results which you are getting was quite less. So a lot of struggle with less results, I would say. So suppose you had put in 100% efforts, the results would be probably 25. So right, so that was the case. But now when Saturn has gone retrograde in its own house, in the 8th house, now you will start getting new opportunities. There would be struggle, but the intensity of struggle will reduce. It will reduce a lot. So struggle would be there. So if you are looking for a project, you will get a project wherein you will have to put in a lot of effort. So that portion is there till the stay of Saturn in the sign of Aquarius in your 8th house. But that struggle will yield you very good results, very good growth, right? You might have had some health issues during the stay of Saturn, retrograde Saturn in the 8th house. And like I said in my previous video, what Saturn does is, when it's a lot of 8th house, it actually brings out the hidden health issues. So the health issues were existing, just that you are not aware of it. And when Saturn pulls out those issues, it's like people say that, Saturn is giving me a lot of health issues. It's not that. Saturn is helping you to identify those health issues and fix them. And now that Saturn has gone direct, if some health issues were identified, you will get solution for that and your health will get better. So for you guys, I would say it's a time of progress, but with little hard work. So stress would be there, but the stress levels would come down drastically once, because the Saturn has gone direct. It will come down drastically. So Jupiter is in your 10th house. That's also a very good placement. Rahu has moved out of your 10th house. So that this Jupiter and Rahu conjunction in your 10th house and the aspect of Saturn created a lot of confusing situation at your workplace. I know some people who lost their job, Cancer Ascendant people, and many people were considering leaving the job, right? So now Rahu has gone, Jupiter is alone there in its own, in the house of its best friend Mars. Now is the time of progress. You will start seeing the results of Jupiter as well, right? Now for Leo Ascendants, Saturn had gone retrograde in the 7th house, and Saturn is the lord of your 6th and 7th house. Now again, because Saturn had gone retrograde in the 7th house, you might have had some relationship issues. So people who were in a relationship or who were married might have experienced, some sort of friction with their partners, and in worst case, things might have taken very bad shape. And if the relationship is still existing for people where things went too bad, then this is the period where things will actually take a proper direction. So whatever is good for you, Saturn is going to do that. And for those who had some little friction in their relationship, now things would actually ease off, things will fall in place, and your relationship will get much better. Strong ties with your partner, right? The same thing applies for business partnership. So you might have had struggle with your business partnership. Now things will fall in place. This Saturn going direct is a wonderful time for new business ventures. Growth in job or business is also indicated. Now those of you who are looking out for marriage or partner, Saturn going direct will give you multiple opportunities for you, provided your dasha and antardasha would support. So that's a different topic, but yes, this is a perfect time for you to search for your soulmate, right? So it's a good thing for Leo Ascendants. It's a wonderful move. Now for Virgo Ascendants, Saturn was in the 6th house. It went retrograde on 17th of June, and today morning it has gone direct. So from 6th house it aspects your 8th house, your 12th house and your 3rd house. So when Saturn was in the 6th house, you might have experienced a lot of struggles. People might have got into litigation, worst case court cases. In some cases, even divorce is indicated in worst cases. So this is not common with certain placement. Yes, people who had taken loan might have found it very difficult to repay their EMIs, right? People who were looking for loans, all the avenues were closed and they were struggling on this front. But now that Saturn has gone direct, all these things will ease off. So you will get opportunities to pay back your EMIs. People who are looking for loans, they'll easily get loans now. So on the financial front, it's going to be very good. And the same thing applies at your workplace, right? At your workplace also, you couldn't maintain your routine. It was quite erratic, probably due to the hard work which you might have had to put in, or due to various conditions, things were bad. Putting in a lot of effort was indicated during that period. Now that will ease off, and you will get new opportunities at your workplace, and steady progress is indicated, right? When Saturn was retrograde in your 6th house, you might have discovered some new enemies, right? And quite possible that some people who were probably related to you or your friends might have been conspiring against you. And during the retrograde stay of Saturn, you might have identified those people, and that might have given a lot of stress to you, because if some friend or some known person backstabs, that's going to hurt you a lot. So that kind of situation was indicated during the retrograde period. But now you might have accepted the fact and you are moving on, right? Which is a wonderful sign. So people who were planning to travel abroad, this is the time, because from 6th house Saturn aspects your 12th house, making your foreign travel quite easy. So those of you who had plans, so you may be student, or probably you are looking out for work permit, or your job might have demanded travel and things didn't happen. This is the time where it will happen, right? So just relax, things are going to be quite easy. Now for Libra ascendants, Saturn is in your 5th house, aspects your 7th, 11th and 12th house, right? Sorry, 7th, 11th and 12th, second house. Now Saturn is a yoga karaka planet for you guys, one of the best planets, right? So when it went retrograde in the 5th house, the 11th and 2nd house also got strained. So during this period you might have experienced blockage of money, right? So either the expected amount didn't come to you, or it got blocked somewhere, your savings got stuck somewhere, or suppose if you had invested in share market, those shares might have performed very bad and your money had been stuck during that period, because 5, 11 and second house, all these three houses are related to Dhanu or monetary gains, savings and earnings, right? And Saturn was actually aspecting and staying in the 5th house and aspecting 11th and 2nd house. So you will get a lot of relief, because the stuck money would now come back. The money which was stuck in share market, good chances of recovery will start from now, right? And a lot of disturbance at your workplace is indicated. A relationship with your children and with your spouse might have been strained, because Saturn going retrograde in the 5th house and aspecting the 7th house indicates that. So some friction with your children, again some friction with your spouse or your partner was clearly indicated, right? So now that would ease off. You will get an opportunity to fix those things, and settle this relationship issues now, right? So for Libra ascendant, very good period. A lot of relief on your monetary front, and relationship front, especially with your children and with your spouse, and even with your business partner if you had any, right? So good times for you. For Scorpio ascendant, Saturn was in your 4th house retrograde, and it was aspecting your 6th house, your 10th house and your 1st house. So I know people, Scorpio ascendant, who were planning to purchase property. They were looking out for house, they were finalizing house after house, property after property, and finally they couldn't purchase it, right? So now is the time where you can actually finalize on some property and purchase it, right? And the property can be land or home or apartment, anything. This is the time. And if you had planned even to purchase vehicle, or doing some interiors of your house, some beautification of your house, or construction which was pending, so this is the time where you can actually start working on that. Now retrograde Saturn was giving you health issues, and this is the time when Saturn goes direct. It gives an opportunity to fix those health issues, and once you start working on that, so earlier you might have worked on it, but you might not have got results, or there was no clarity on what was happening. So that clarity you will get now when Saturn has gone direct, right? Also for Scorpio ascendant, your daily routine was kind of out of track during the retrograde stay. So now again, it will fall, things will start falling in place. It will come back on track, and you can fix your timetable and start working in that direction. So things were out of your control till now. So that part will actually go away, and this will bring some sort of transformation in your personality, which is going to be a good one, right? Now for Sagittarius ascendant, Saturn was retrograde in the third house, and it was aspecting your fifth house, your ninth house, and your 12th house. So fifth and ninth house, two wonderful houses it was aspecting, and it was also aspecting your 12th house. So when it went retrograde in your third house, it made you put in a lot of efforts, because third house is the house of efforts, right? So you might have put in a lot of efforts and you didn't see results coming your way, or the results were like 50% results, not 100%, and things might have been very frustrating during that period. So now that Saturn has gone direct in the third house, now you'll start seeing results. Also, whatever efforts you have put in will actually fructify now. During this retrograde period of Saturn, because it aspects your fifth house, you might have, your children might have felt neglected, that they are not getting the care from you which they used to get earlier. It is because you were putting in a lot of efforts at your workplace or on some other front, and it's obvious that they might have felt neglected. Now you'll be able to control your efforts part, because it's going to come down drastically. And my advice would be, start focusing on your children, start focusing on learning new things, because that is what Saturn is expecting from you, right? So from now Saturn will give you opportunity, but identify what are the areas which you lack or which you are interested in, or in which direction you want your future to go. So if you're working, probably you can update yourself in new technologies, because this is the time Saturn is giving you an opportunity to work on that, and you will get amazing results in the future. People who were planning to travel, because Saturn in the third house aspecting the ninth house and also the 12th house, so these are all related to travel, right? So people who were planning to travel, who couldn't travel due to different reasons, due to visa reason, or whatever may be the reason they couldn't travel, now you can comfortably travel. You can get into processing your visa, you can start traveling. Expenses were kind of out of your hand during this retrograde period of Saturn. Now these expenses, you will easily able to control the expenses. Expenses will come down drastically, right? So a relief giving period for Sagittarius ascendant. Now for Capricorn ascendant, Saturn has gone direct in the second house, and it aspects the 4th, 8th and 11th house. One thing is, if you had any health issues, because I know few Capricorn ascendant people who had lot of health issues and they were struggling during the retrograde period, this is the time wherein actually your health issues can be fixed easily, because Saturn going direct in your second house. Saturn is also the lord of your ascendant, but it's also the lord of the second house. So now things will fall in place on health front, right? So whatever health issues you are struggling, you will get proper solution. Now Saturn in the fourth house, in the second house, aspecting the 11th house. When it was retrograde, these two houses of monetary gains and savings were very badly impacted. So again, your money might have been stuck somewhere. Either your money might have been stuck somewhere, or you might have experienced losses, and your savings again were stuck. And quite possible that you might have actually loaned some amount to some person, maybe your friend, your relative or someone, and the money, and that person is completely avoiding you, right? So that kind of situation might have happened. So now again, you can retry possibility of getting back your money. High chances, I would say. So overall, travel is also indicated, because the 8th and 11th house are getting aspected by Saturn. So people again, who are planning for some foreign travel or for some local travel, this is the time actually where you can plan for travel, right? And any issues you had with your extended family, will now get fixed. Also, any issues in your ancestral property front, this is the time where you can actually amicably sit and solve those issues, right? So again, a relief giving period for Capricorn ascendants. Now for Aquarius ascendant, Saturn is a lot of your ascendant. It went retrograde in your first house, and Saturn is aspecting your 3rd, 7th and 10th house, right? Now because it is aspecting your 7th house during this retrograde period, again, you might have experienced issues in your relationship. So relationship with your spouse or your partner, right? And those issues might have taken a very bad turn actually. And during this direct period, again, you can actually take some decisive stand, wherein you can decide whether to break the relationship or whether to continue the relationship. So if things went very bad and it is good for you that you get separated, then Saturn will actually do that. And if the issues were petty and normal ego issues which generally happen, then those issues will get settled during this period. Lot of struggle was there during this period, especially on the job front, because Saturn sitting in the first house aspects the 10th house, right? So a lot of struggle, a lot of the clarity was missing, a lot of confusion was there at your job place, putting in a lot of effort, not getting returns. That is the common pattern of Saturn, right? You put in a lot of efforts, but the results come very slowly, so slow that the person is frustrated, right? So that was the case with you guys. So now that Saturn has gone direct, you will see the efforts which you have put in will fructify now. You will start getting the results, or whatever efforts you put in from now actually will actually yield very good results for you. But a time of steady progress will start from now, that's for sure. Any health issues you might have experienced during the retrograde period, because it is a lot of your ascendant, right? Now it will get fixed, and you will easily be able to overcome those health issues. Now coming to Pisces, Saturn went retrograde in your 12th house. It aspects your 2nd, 6th and 9th house, right? So a retrograde period might have given you a lot of expenses. So 12th house, Lord in 12th house going retrograde, it does many things. One is a lot of expenses, unnecessary travels, right? It also is kind of giving you, it was giving you health issues, because from 12th house, it also aspected your 2nd house, right? So some health issues surely it has given you. Your money might have got stuck, because 2nd house is a house of savings, right? Relationship issues, especially with your extended families, was indicated during the retrograde period. And any ancestral property you had, surely some issue was there, some sort of litigation, some sort of settlement issues were there with your extended family. So now Saturn has gone direct. Time to resolve your health issues which were identified during that period. Your expenses will come down drastically, or you will have much better control of them. Again, relationship with your extended family can be solved, but you will have to put in a lot of efforts. And again, the ancestral property issue can be fixed, but you have to put in a lot of effort. Sit with your family members, discuss with them, and things will be solved. Very good possibility that things will be solved, right? The issues will be solved. So guys, these were some of my thoughts on Saturn going direct. So thank you guys for listening to me patiently. I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you very much.